But it's so good to be here. What are we going to talk about today?
Oh, I have a list of things, but I like to keep this very conversational. I am interested in your new photo project that you mentioned, your new book.
So, I do have a book that came out in September. It's called Glenda Lee's The Life and World of a Youngest Daughter. And it's about a family on the edge of gentrification on the Lower East Side of New York in the late 90s. So, it's a book about a neighborhood. And I'm a youngest daughter. So, I decided to tell it through the point of view of that youngest daughter.
That's genius.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
It is because I don't want to call it coming of age.
It's not a coming of age. I get that a lot, but thank you for saying that. It's not.
It's like a retrospective of your youth through someone else's eyes.
A meditation of the urban family system, because that's also how I grew up.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to see because that's not something you see a lot. Everybody's focused on it's more of a visual driven project these days as opposed to the metaphorical project.
When W Magazine reviewed it, they said Angela Cappetta tells a story of the hidden heart of the Lower East Side.
There you
And
go.
it just touched me so deeply. And then when the New Yorker wrote about it, they said they called it "Watching a Girl's Life Change on the Lower East Side." So these are places that wrote about it that really, really got it. I think saying anything is a coming of age story, it's a bit of a cop out. That doesn't really mean anything. Watching someone grow up doesn't necessarily mean coming of age.
Exactly. It feels more like when I think coming of age stories, I think of more whimsical stuff.
So the story, it's very real and raw. And I lived in the neighborhood because that was what we could afford. Now it's like $2 million apartments for some strange reason. It's still a dump. I mean, it's just a polished. It's the streets are narrow, their buildings are low, they're very close together, it's very dark. But there are buildings that are now have selling $2 million apartments. And when I lived there, we lived there because we could afford it.
Yeah, they're selling an idea, is what they're doing. You could get on the ground floor for $2 million.
Oh my God. It's true. They're selling a fantasy.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
But that's not what it's like. I mean, I grew up in the hood, and it was not fun. And there are these streets now that have become totally gentrified that we would avoid like the plague.
Yeah, it's like that around Detroit now too, especially with like Cass Corridor. Cass Corridor in the 70s and 80s, there were like 12 serial killers that just like picked people off left and right there. And now there's a bunch of people riding those little scooters down the sidewalks and there's little like cafes and stuff. I'm like,
Oh my God.
my fiance hates it because I'm like, a girl got murdered over there. They found her body right there. And she's like, will you stop it?
She's right. You should stop it.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right to make that request. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that request. No.
I like history of a location, whether it be good or bad, and that's a dark alley I've wandered down a few times for a research project.
I understand completely. I understand completely.
So for you, what comes first in your projects? Is it a concept, subject, or a feeling?
So I start by photographing things that I like, things that interest me. And when I start building it up, then I look at it more holistically as an aggregate to see what about it is pulling me in. And then I take that idea and then I try to pull that further. So it's like layers of a plant that open as it goes out, like that. So I start with just the basic idea of something I like, and I, last few years I have really been looking at the idea of something being a time machine, neighborhoods that shouldn't really exist anymore, but they still do. So I'm penetrating these neighborhoods in Manhattan that are still super old school and janky. And you feel the developers circling, waiting for these neighborhoods to stop existing, but they just won't. So these are things, and I go in, and I'm cute and adorable, and they let me in, and I charm my way into these back rooms and businesses kind of above the street level where it's really super gritty, and I'm doing a lot of that right now. And then I have these days that I call mental health days, and I do these photo walks for my paid Substack subscribers, where we meet up in a park, and I go over with people how to approach strangers. So, and for me, that's like a day off. So it'll usually be like at a dog park after the dogs have come out and they've played and they're like tired and they want to be held. I like to photograph people who kind of look like their dogs.
Oh, I love those. I love them.
But for me, I always look like my dogs, right? But for me, that's a day off. And sometimes we do things. Sometimes Sally Mann once said, sometimes we do things just because they're fun. Not everything has to have some deep psychological meaning. So I'm charmed by these people who just have these funny dogs and these dogs that they look alike and they put them in collars and they match them. It's fascinating to me, but I'm also really very much a dog person. And the other day, I asked this really nice lady if I could photograph. She had a beautiful dog with her, and she said, "Do you want to hold him?"
Oh no.
Yes,
Oh
and so
no.
I held this puppy, maybe 20 pounds, he put his chin right there, I had my gear strapped over me, and he licked me right, it was really nice, and for me, that's a day off because I'm usually told to go fuck myself when I'm going to photograph. People usually say, "Go fuck yourself," and oh, can I swear?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I can't not swear. Everybody's like, "Oh my god,
I
I'm sorry." Like,
totally get it, but these are actual conversations. Well, I'll very politely ask if I could photograph. I don't like to sneak up on people. I think that as a woman, I feel like that's really janky and very sus, very sus. So even as a woman, I ask, and I'll just say to someone, "Could you just repeat what you did?" But I'm doing it with a blessing. So I don't feel like I'm putting myself in a situation where I used to not ask and I'd get chased and people tried to assault me and it was just I'm too old for that. I'm just not interested in that level of the game anymore, but I am, and that's what I've been doing.
can I interrupt you for a second?
Absolutely.
So I have discovered something through conversations with photographers for men and women. Photographers, men will walk up and set off a flash in some stranger's face, and I'd fight him. I'd fight that person. Personally, as me, I would.
I mean, I'll do that too, but there's a level of entitlement that comes along with I was interviewed once for a podcast, and the host said to me, this is what he said, "Well, I feel like I'm entitled to take any pictures that I want." And I said to him, "There's that word. You're not. You're not. You have to earn it. You're not." And if you're in a situation where you feel culturally it's okay, do it. I mean, I've been to countries where you can photograph, nobody gives a crap. And I think now people are so used to the phone being out that they've become desensitized, and that's fine. But I asked these two adorable girls the other day, they had on little tops and body glitter. I think they might have been sisters. They were precious. And I asked them if I could take their picture, and they said, "Thank you so much for asking." And I said, "Yeah, I'm a woman." And then even at Halloween, Halloween here is a sacred thing. Never miss it. So I go out with my gear and my flash, and everyone is dressed up and they're unrecognizable. And I still ask. Even the women say to me, "Thank you for asking."
Yeah, I think it's the polite thing to do.
But my work is candid. I am only asking them to shoot what's in front of me.
You're not asking for a certain pose or posing them on the street.
I'm not doing any of that. And if I see something, of course, I can't, it's a reflex. You can't help it. You take the picture. But then I'll say, "Do you want to see it?"
If you break that threshold, I feel it's more appropriate.
If I have, but that's part, I feel like in the way the culture is now, women have had to tolerate a lot of bullshit and we're done. We're done. But I feel like it's reflexive. If someone has to ask me, I also have to ask them. So that's kind of where I am right now. Everything I'm doing is because I'm invited there.
Yeah, and you've earned that invitation too.
I've earned it. I once left my card at a polishing. There are these businesses, these places that polish metal. I left my business card. I said, "I'd love to come photograph sometime." He said, "Well, my dad's not here. I'll ask him when he comes back." It was a father-son business. And I left my card. And 2 seconds, he obviously Googled me and he chased me down the street and he said, "Do you want to come back?" Well, looked you up. Do you wanna come back?" I said, "Yeah." So that's the unspoken part of the work. I don't think it really has anything to do with the work itself, but when I'm asked about how I shoot, I do like to share that. I don't really talk about the personal lives of my subjects, which is another question I get a lot.
Because they want to know, they get invested in the photos and want to know more about the personal lives. Is that what it is?
None of nobody's business. I'm, literally robbing for you of your experience to look at a work, to look at something and come up with your own backstory if I give you too much context.
Yeah, I think it's more, it inspires more feeling, and that's what art does, is inspires feeling, because then you're telling yourself the story.
Exactly. Winogrand said, I'm butchering the quote, "The picture isn't what happened, it's a new fact."
Oh, I like that. I need to look more into the philosophy because I'm just some moron in a basement doing interviews. But everybody's always quoting.
That's your basement?
That wall is fake. This is a cheap rolling cart.
Beautiful.
So I'm afraid of storms. So any house I'm moving to, basement, because I'm not getting wiped out by a tornado. Ain't happening.
I love having a basement.
You spent a long time on this project.
10 years.
So when do you know a project like that's done? How did you know when it was done? Or do you still not know when it was done?
You just kinda get an idea. You just sort of move on. People move, people get married, get divorced, they move. You move neighborhoods, you move to another building, you get sick of each other, whatever. Whatever. It doesn't I worked at the Joffrey Ballet as an artist in residence, and it was a 2-year job. I had 2 years, and I feel like in 2 years, I did a lot of work.
Oh yeah, 2 years. You can shoot so many photos.
Yeah, and I lived in Mexico for a while, and I went to photograph bull schools, where they learn how to bullfight.
How was that?
I was there for about 4 months. It was a lot of fun, and I went to a lot of different bull schools, and it was just kind of the amount of money that I had to live in a place for that long. And then I went back a few more times just for trips to kind of polish it up. And I think you just sort of, when a photographer is working, you're working, at least I'm working on multiple things at one time. So it really just sort of what I want to put my energy on. Like I'm working on my second book right now, and it's a compendium of wedding work. Wait, 10 years before 10 years before the invention of the iPhone. So my wedding work has continued beyond obviously the invention of the iPhone analog, but the whole point here is to look at the work for the 10-year period right before 2007 when the iPhone was introduced and to see how they looked, to see that period of how weddings look. Now I'm still photographing, but what we're doing, my publisher and I, the sweet spot is the 10-year period before the iPhone and before gay weddings were legal. So I have gay weddings that I shoot all the time that are legal, but they were after 2007.
So before and after the iPhone,
Yeah.
are you including photos after the like after? Okay, I'm kind of interested.
Up to the rollout of the iPhone. So which the pictures, the edit stops the month that the iPhone came out. So nothing, no pictures. If there's a device, it's a paper camera or it's like a little flip phone where a teenager is sending a text or a phone that someone's actually talking on, and then it goes back into the bag. They're not doing this all day.
That's what I was wondering if you were gonna have. When you shoot a wedding and there's like a million iPhones in the air.
Not one. Not one. We're doing that on purpose, but I'm still shooting. So that's that element of the project. You can edit anything in a number of ways, in any number of ways to tell the story you want to tell.
I think that's very clever. I wish I could. So I'm younger than you.
Yes, you definitely are.
Not to be offensive. You brought
I
it up
did.
first, but but I wish I could have lived longer in the era before cell phones took over everything.
I was very young, but I still was old enough to do this. So it was seeing how it flipped over when the camera turned around. It's fascinating.
And it's just walking around like staring at your palm all day.
I shoot weddings where the phone is banned, which is perfectly fine, and I love it. It takes such a different shape. The form of the party, there's no escape mechanism, there's no blank stare. Everybody's engaged with their whole being.
I saw something interesting at the wedding I shot yesterday that I've never seen before, and I thought it was genius. They weren't concerned with having a big party of dancing and just raucous mayhem. They brought out board games for the reception.
Isn't it? Oh, I shot a wedding like that once. Instead of flowers at the table, they had board
It
games.
was genius. Everybody was talking, laughing.
Oh, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see people engage with each other. It was beautiful.
They saved so much money.
Oh, it's amazing.
I was shocked by how many people actually, all of them were playing board games. I'm just standing there with my camera, like in amazement.
Yes, at a wedding though, a board game can't be too think related. Like I think Scrabble would be hard because you're eating and you're drinking and you're talking to people. And when I play Scrabble, I need all of my intelligence.
Yeah, everything needs to be firing all at once.
So all the other games, which were kind of lighter,
I will say that Monopoly, that table was left unattended the entire night.
it's too hard. You have to count. You have to think. It's more engaging. So Light Bright, Operation, Hungry Hungry
Half in,
Hippos
half out.
are a win. They're a winner.
Yep.
They're a winner.
So we talked about boundaries when it comes to your street photography. Do you keep those same boundaries and ethics when you're working in a professional setting? Let's say you're hired for an event or
Right.
something like that. Do you keep that same, hey, like show them the camera?
So it's it's different because when you're at an event, you have a blank check to put a camera in front of someone's face. That's what I mean when I say cultural differences. I don't have to ask permission because I'm already invited by the people who are paying me. So I can do whatever I want,
Yes.
really. And even if I'm shooting the getting ready, the bride doesn't necessarily sign up to have her breast photographed. I will ask in a sensitive situation, do you want me to photograph you nude? And if they say yes, great. And if they say no, that's also fine. They don't necessarily sign up for wedding photography. They don't necessarily sign up for a bunch of nudes. But some people, some women, it doesn't bother them at all.
They are very comfortable.
In that scenario, I will ask. However, the rest of the day as it plays out, I don't have to ask. And if I did ask, it would be very strange. It would be very inappropriate, unprofessional for me to ask.
I took a photo yesterday, and the lady was with her children, and she was like, "Did you ask to take this photo?" I was like, "The bride paid me."
I mean, you don't owe anybody else at the wedding an explanation because when someone tried to really bully me around at a wedding once, and I just looked at him and I said, "I don't work for you.
I think that's all you have to say.
I don't work for you. Your name isn't on my contract. I don't work for you." And I said it very politely, but the thing is, some men want to control women, and that's just how it plays out. I've had some very strange experiences with people who acted that way. People have actually even said to me, "Did you take enough pictures of the children?" At another wedding, they said, "You took too many pictures of the children." There's no way you're going to make everybody happy. However, my clients are always happy because I am a sure thing every single time. And I earned that reputation.
I've looked through your stuff, and I was like, "Oh, damn, this is a real photographer."
Thank you. That's very, very sweet of you to say.
It's like I'm a hack. She's
No,
talk.
you're
She
not.
she contacted me.
Oh,
What the
gosh.
hell?
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I love anytime somebody gets their sleeves up and does it.
Oh, I'm doing it every day.
It's beautiful. I was on a few podcasts since my book came out, and it's just, again, it's like a basement and a professional mic and someone who's got the desire to tell a story.
I'm gonna let you in on another secret. This mic right here,
Let me
that
hear it.
mic ain't doing shit. It's not even plugged into
So
anything. It's just
professional.
I know, right? Well, it is a real mic, but it's like if you look, there's like duct tape holding a fake cord on here.
That's what my flash bracket looks like. It's got tape on it and hair ties because 'cause they're stronger than rubber band. It's got a whole jury rig system.
I like that you do that because I work with a lot of photographers. I work with a lot of videographers who think if something's wrong with it, I'm gonna buy a new one. I can't deal with this. I'm like, I will hot glue this.
I don't see the point in doing that. I will just send it out to be repaired.
Exactly. I wouldn't even do that.
I don't see the point in constantly replacing the thing is if it's a machine, it's going to break down. You have to go take your car to a mechanic. You take your body to a doctor. You do things to repair things. Your watch breaks, you take it to the watchmaker, and I don't see any different. If my camera gear fails in any way, if my bag tears, I'll send it in. Low Pro has a lifetime guarantee. I'll send the back in. That's how I was trained.
What are you shooting on these days?
So for my analog work, I have 2 cameras that I really rotate 3 cameras I would say I rotate equally. I have a medium format 6 by 9. I have a 35, I have a Leica, and then I have a custom panoramic that I use for very special, requests. It's custom, and I have these cameras on rotation, and then for, other jobs, for the digital part of my life, I use, a Nikon of a certain size because I need the files to be a certain size, and then I have 2 of those and 2 flashes, so just in case anything if there's a malfunction, I have double, and, that's pretty much what I use, so I would say it's 5 cameras not at any 5 that I will rotate, the digital part and the analog part.
When you're saying panoramic, are you talking like the Fuji TX1 style panoramas?
It's similar.
I want one so bad.
Yeah, similar. It's when you have something made, it's always a little different, it's a little this, a little that.
I love those cameras. I fell in love with the X Pan.
You should get one.
I held one. I didn't even shoot it.
Isn't it beautiful?
I held it and I was like, I need to buy one of these. And then I looked at the prices.
So I have a buddy who has an X-Pan who does some really beautiful work with it. And he photographs his children and his family, and, he's a boy, so he goes on these hikes and stuff, and he does just beautiful work, and it's really kind of reinvigorated my interest in seeing what people can do with the X-Pan.
I have seen so much good work, but they're like up to $9,000 now.
You can rent one.
I should rent one.
So here's the thing, I have learned when the rental houses close on Friday, they close early, some of them celebrate Shabbat, so they close early. Then there's a weekend, right, where they're not open, and then sometimes Monday is a holiday. So if you could get it for that whole weekend, you're only paying for 1 day. You have to find a place that they're not all closed on the weekend. But even if you get it for, 1 Friday, to a second holiday, even just it's the same price as 1 day.
Look at you. You're saving money. You're thrifty, aren't you?
I mean, I've saved thousands doing that, Justin.
Are you somebody who looks at gear a lot, or are you happy with what you got?
I do like gear. I enjoy gear. I mean, I don't really get, super worked up over it, but yeah, I mean, I recently, purchased some gear and it was, but I replaced old gear. So I sold the old gear and replaced it with the newer version. And I don't like to keep a lot of junk around. So I keep the old one you can always sell to one of my students to put on eBay, whatever. I just sold two old things on eBay. And then the new one just kind of moves in and replaces the old one.
I have. It's not an expensive gear addiction, but it's like buying old junk, even point and shoot cameras. I think they're cool. Like these are all point and shoots up here, and yeah.
Yeah, they're great. I have too. But I've had them since I was, in my 20s. So I love using them and you should always use them all the time. They're great. But if you don't use it, sell it. Let someone else be able to use it. That's my thing. Is if I'm holding on to it, no one is it's not fulfilling its purpose.
Yeah, it's not. It's just a decoration at that point.
Someone else's hands, it could be exactly what they need.
The one camera I wish I could fix, but it's pointless because the film doesn't exist, is the old land camera.
That was great.
I know a buddy who can convert it to shoot Instax film.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about doing that. I think it'd be a cool like YouTube project or something for Substack, but
Do it.
we'll see.
I think it would be I think you should absolutely do it. If it's burning inside of you, you should do it. The thing I've learned is that you have to shoot what you love
Yes, I've learned that a lot recently.
and with something you love. And my 6x9 is my beloved tool. I take it out in the street all the time.
Is that the Fuji 6x9?
Yeah, the Texas Leica.
And I've been looking at those for a hot minute.
So I've had mine for a long time, a very long time, and you often have to replace the sync on any camera because it's all a little tiny thing. But finally, after some time, The shutter actually broke, and I sent it in, but it was only $300 to fix.
Oh, that's not bad. That's cheaper than the shutter on my A7.
I could not believe how affordable it was to repair a camera that I've had for almost 20 years. And it was a stalwart. It never ever sputtered or died on me.
Was it a fast turnaround?
It was about a month.
Okay.
It wasn't anything ridiculous. It was normal turnaround time.
I was just curious because my buddy sent in his Leica to get repaired, and it's a 6 month turnaround time right now. And I was like, whoa!
Did you send it to Germany?
I think he sent it to somebody in the US. I'm not positive. I'd have to ask.
You should never, ever, ever send it to Germany because it's okay. Some of these places, the Leica places are a ripoff, and they make you feel as though they're doing you a favor. Once I got an estimate, it was over $3,000 to fix something.
Ugh! No!
But I found an independent repair person who is Leica certified, woman-owned business. She turned everything around in a couple of weeks, and I got to pay a minority business to do something that if I had sent it to Germany would have cost me more than what my first car cost.
That costs more than any of my cameras cost. The repair of the Leica would have.
You have to know where to go, and it's a lot of research, it's a lot of asking your colleagues where they take their cameras, it's a lot of, rabbit holing through the internet, but you can find these places that will do it affordably, strangely enough.
I have found I didn't break it. I want to rephrase that. I shot it until it died.
It broke, it broke.
I shot my Sony A7 III until the shutter died.
Great camera.
If I'm looking for something or like something's broke on my cameras or I'm not sure how something works, the first place I go is old forums where some old camera tech from 15 years ago answered a question that's very specific to what the problem I'm having is.
Absolutely. See,
Reddit has saved my ass so many times.
oh, Reddit is you know what's really funny? I have been getting so much work lately from Reddit. I guess some of
Really?
my clients in the last 2 years have just gone onto Reddit to recommend me. Just dropped it in here and there, and people really read those things, and they contact you right away. Reddit has I guess, Instagram and Reddit are the new yellow pages, whatever, yeah. But I think, it's really interesting how many referrals that I've gotten from things like Reddit and Instagram.
How has your experience been with social media, with your photography, and trying to get clients through that?
They all come to me. I post well, I don't wanna sound like I know how that sounds. They all come to me, though.
No, no. I mean, you have a name. You are a name. People know you.
I earned it. I earned it and I deserve it. I post what I post. And I actually shot, an elopement, I think it was maybe 3 weeks ago, and they found me on Instagram, and my work on Instagram, I wouldn't say it's in totally City Hall wedding focused, but there's definitely enough of it on there, and there's enough of it to funnel you into my website where there are actual proper portfolios posted, but she was like, "Yeah, I just hit Instagram and there you were." And they were eloping and, he was from Australia. They're very sweet, and it was just beautiful, but they got it. Like, we went on the subway, and I was hoping they would wanna take the subway because that's another excuse to you could basically put your flash if you're shooting a married couple on the subway, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody cares what happens.
It was a packed car, and I had to get the right angle, and I shoved myself in this little space between these 2 people, and I whispered to the guy next to me, "I'm so sorry," and he went, "It's fine." 'Cause he was so engrossed in his book, he went, "Fine." So people who are on the subway just have blinders on, but the nobody said a word, and it was some of the most fun and engaging wedding photography I've been able to do in months because this couple was into it, and we just did it, and it's just all you have to again, culturally, you have to just read the room.
It's the vibes. It's the
I wouldn't go into a Buddhist temple if there was a wedding happening and start blasting people with my flash. I wouldn't do it. I know people who would. I'm not one of them because I'm not driven by ego and stupidity.
there's a fine line that you have to walk sometime.
Oh, it's not that fine. It's a pretty thick line.
For that situation in particular, yes, but there are those situations where I'm unsure of what to do. If it was a Buddhist temple, I'd know damn well. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. And I think it's a respect thing.
Exactly, and I think that it's fine to run around the street and, there's no expectation of privacy on the street, and, the Supreme Court says you can do it, so I do it, and once I actually photographed a guy who was a high-ranking federal agent. He actually detained me, and I was encircled by federal police, and he said, "Why are you taking pictures in front of a federal building? And this is how you know I'm a New Yorker." I said, "Because the Supreme Court says I can." He said, "Let me see your ID." I said, "Let me see yours, asshole." And the thing is I was late for an appointment, and I really didn't wanna get into my whole First Amendment bullshit. I wasn't in the mood. It was too early in the morning. But then I printed the picture, and I kept it in my bag when I saw him again. I was gonna give it to him.
That would have been hilarious.
And I saw him on the street, and I said, "Dude, I have that picture of you. Do you want it?" He goes, "No." I said, "Too bad. You're taking it anyway because you wasted my time." So I went into my bag, and I gave it to him. It was in a FedEx envelope. I handed it to him, and I said, "No charge."
Oh man, I wonder if he kept it.
I'm sure he did. How often does an adorable girl hand you a free 8 by 10 color picture of you on the street?
Oh, it was 8 by 10.
Well, that's my basic minimal size.
You don't like the small stuff.
Well, it's my darkroom size.
Do you have your own darkroom, or are you using a commercial?
At the moment, I'm darkroomless, but I just moved out of a studio. I'm in another studio that's temporary, and then I'm gonna go back into it. I'm in between right now.
I'm working on building one because I'm getting into that.
Yeah, they're great. I have all my gear, and I just love having a darkroom.
Really like your mantra and philosophy on photography. The more I'm talking,
What is that?
no, just like your view on photography as far as your ethics and the way you
Thank
approach it and not
you.
being afraid to tell a federal officer to fuck off, essentially.
I literally did. I'm Michelangelo Cappetta's daughter. I'm not afraid of anything.
I like that in somebody. Somebody that stands, they stand on business.
I know what my rights are. I can't be I'm not look, I went to public school and I grew up in New Haven. I cannot be bullied.
I like strong people, and I like I like when strong people stand up for people who can't be stood up for.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm a very big believer on that.
If I want someone to do it for me, I have to do it.
So I was going to ask, you brought this up vaguely. You said it was the most that your wedding shoot that you said you did on the subway. You said it's the most fun you've had in a long time. And do you still so you do it all day every day? Is that what you're doing? Photography?
All day, every day.
Okay, so has it become a job for you where you're like, ugh, or do you just still love it?
It's never not been a job. It's my job.
But do you still love it?
Of course I do, or I wouldn't be doing it. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it.
You know how some people get into the office and then it's just
I'm not one of the
okay, good. That's what I wanted to know.
I was interviewed by Blind Magazine, and the reporter referred to me as it's a French magazine, and she called me an enfant sauvage, which means wild child.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved it because I was a feral Gen X kid when I grew up, and I'm still feral and I'm still Gen X. We were so terrifying, they couldn't give us a name. That's why they called us Generation X, because that's how terrifying we were. We're afraid of nothing. Gentle parenting,
I am not a gentle parent.
it was not a what the hell was that? I would get my ass kicked if I did something that didn't jive in my household, and you know what? I never did it again.
Exactly. You learned a lesson real fast. I am not a gentle parent. I can't. I'm going to cut me saying this out because how bad the backlash will be. But man, I put my son was 5 years old. I put him in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai kickboxing.
Children need to learn character, and they can't do it if they don't get their asses kicked in a kid's class. You know that little video on the internet of this little tiny girl hitting a board and going hiya. I could watch it all day long. She is in it to win it. She is a beast.
She's going somewhere.
Oh,
She's going places.
oh,
I'm seeing more feral behaviors. I'm seeing them be more not afraid to tell somebody that's not right. That's not what you're supposed to do.
that's what they should.
Yeah.
Children should be able to stand up for
Yes,
themselves.
that's what I'm seeing is more of the self-confidence to be like, don't fucking do that. I watched my son say that.
You know, my friend's little boy always has a little point and shoot camera, and his pictures are incredible. They are beautiful because he's really tiny and they're from a point of view that you don't normally see unless you were squatting down. So because of how tall he sees like I'm very tall. So when I shoot with a helper, he's shorter than I am. So you could tell he's using my gear, but you could tell the work simply because of where the eye is. This little guy is, he's 3 feet tall or what I don't know, 4 feet tall. And he walks around with his little camera with a big button and he takes the most beautiful pictures.
It's shot with childlike wonder too, so it has that going for it.
Exactly. They're beautiful pictures. He's photographed like an angel.
I handed my camera off to my son on vacation. Just a little. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen the ads, but this little damn camera.
Oh, is that the paper camera?
This one is the Camp Snap.
It's fabulous. Great. You can't get any better than that.
He shot some photos that were better than my version, and I shot on the A7 IV, and he got it with this little 8 megapixel hunk of plastic.
You sound like a tender, doting father. You sound like a really good dad.
I'm trying. Sometimes I want to armbar him, but
I mean, I think that's every day. My friend came over the other day. She has 2 children and a dog. And she came over the other day and she sat on my couch and then she tipped over and she said, "It's so nice not having 2 children and a dog on me." And she meant it in every cell of her body. She sat on my couch, tipped over, and said, "Angela, this is amazing." And that's my life every day. But she has 2 children and a dog and a husband. And she just couldn't believe that she was actually in an apartment that did not have children or a dog or a husband in it.
quiet. When things get quiet. And quiet, I've discovered that silence, when you have kids, silence makes you the most suspicious, paranoid person in the world.
I bet.
Yeah, like where are the fireworks? Did they get them? Or did we put those up?
When they're thinking about something, they're thinking very hard about something. That's when you should be scared.
Yeah, when they start getting creative with the damage they cause.
Yeah. I bet his pictures are beautiful, though. Why don't you do a post with them?
I have been thinking I might do that next week.
Justin, I would love to see the pictures that your child took with that camera. I would love it.
Oh, I'll post them. I will.
I would love it if you posted a post dedicated to his work that he shot with that little sweet camera that you just showed me.
He didn't just use that one. He also used this old Canon A5100.
That's a great camera.
He has a little cheap he got one as a gift. It's like a little $60 Amazon digital.
Oh.
And I was surprised with the resolution on that damn camera, but he got some really good.
I bet they're beautiful. Print one and put it in his.
Oh, he'd probably think I shot it. He would. He'd be like, "You shot this, Dad?" I'm like, "No, man, you did it. What are you talking about?"
No, little man. Oh, it's beautiful. It sounds beautiful. I bet he does beautiful work.
He really does.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm gonna quote you to yourself now, which is funny because it's a quote you just posted today. Yeah, I'm a machine built to shoot, make work, tell stories, fail, succeed, go broke, and repeat.
That is literally my life.
I was gonna say, I think you need to put that on posters, T-shirts. You need to market that shit because
Put it on a coffee cup.
exactly. If you make them on coffee cups, it'll be sitting right there, so it's in frame.
Okay.
Angela Cappetta said it. She was on my show.
Well, what I would really like is for people to go to my publisher's website and buy my book. So they want to do another book. So
Yeah, so that way you can keep
Watch
it
I
turning
already
over.
I'm already doing another book. But what I would really love, instead of making T-shirts that have an idiotic quote that I said, I would rather just people look at my work and decide if they like it from that.
So you don't mind if I steal?
No charge.
I wouldn't do that to you.
No charge.
I think the most I'm going to do is make negative influence T-shirts. That's the most I'm going to do.
It's a very clever name, by the way.
Thank you.
Really pulled me in, and the way that you showed, I think you have sprocket marks in the
Yeah.
it's very clever. Otherwise, it could go the other way, but when you see the little sprocket marks, you instantly understand what it's about. It's quite brilliant
I am a negative influence on a lot of people, which was
on a lot of people.
yeah.
I am too. I'm very lightly principled.
I'm easily swayed to a degree.
My friend's little girl, who I've known since she was a fetus, said she sent me a Valentine last year that said, "Angela, thank you for teaching me great things." And I just said to her mother, all I do is teach her all the wrong shit.
That's important to learn the wrong shit too, though.
All the wrong shit. And the mother was like, "Yeah, she's obsessed with it. She loves it." And she just like, I don't know where any of the states are, so I put a map up on my door. And now I know where all the states are and the capitals because the capitals are showing. So I know Wichita is the dead center. So we were doing this kind of like geography Mad Libs for her school. And I said to her, you can just get a map. We were all failing miserably. I said, just get I have a map on my door and I look at it every day. And that's how I learn where everything is. And then the next day she put the map on the door.
Oh wow.
I
So
know.
you're the role model
No,
now.
I wouldn't say that, but to quote Homer Simpson, "A good idea is a good idea."
See, that's the kind of quote I can get behind. That's my level of quoting. I like that.
Homer is really the only thing I care about. I have a T-shirt that I made for me and a friend of mine in the pandemic that says, "You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel." And it's Homer in a towel running to get the phone at his, console at work.
I think there's a lot of life lessons to be learned from cartoons.
Yeah, that's all I watch.
The Simpsons.
Well, I only watch cartoons. Yeah.
Do you like Futurama?
I really love Futurama. It's so smart and so good.
Futurama's my favorite show for cartoons.
My friend got a fish and named it Bender Jr.
So in that post from this morning, you were talking about a beginning photographer made an ass of themselves is what happened
Totally.
by asking for too much. They were asking too much.
I mean, I get a lot of those. I get a lot of those, but this one was really this I usually don't I'm not into I don't wanna publicly shame anyone. There's no name in it, it's totally anonymous, but that is indicative of people think that the thing is, I think a lot of it is because I'm a woman. I think people think that they can just ask me for whatever they want, and I don't think they would do that to a man. I've asked my colleagues who are men and, or non-binary men if they've gotten such requests, and they're like, "Very rarely." But the women and women identifying, they feel the same as I, and I got a lot of guys who write to me who wanna copy what I did. "How did you do it? Can you tell me how to do it?" No. You can buy an hour of my time, and I'll teach you how to use your flash, but I'm not gonna tell you how I do I don't work for you.
That experience of somebody expecting things from you, I find that
She
it's
wanted a lesson from me, she wanted to buy an hour, let me be clear, but it's still that's maybe a semester's worth of work that she wanted,
that's wildly inappropriate.
maybe 2 semesters. I I was gobsmacked at that level of entitlement. I was gobsmacked.
Maybe it's just the unrealistic expectations that they had for themselves and you.
I get those I get those all the time, though. I get them all the time, and sometimes it's in the air, and you just have to Dina Letowski wrote an article about it recently too. I quoted it. I linked to it in my article.
I'm gonna have to go back through it. I read it right before.
It happens all the time. Sometimes, though, I will get a handwritten letter from a kid in some high school or junior high in, like, Utah. And they'll write me the sweetest heartfelt letter, and the one girl actually wrote to me and said, "My teacher wanted us to write to someone who has an interesting job. Would you please tell me in one paragraph what" because it's for school, "about why you like your job and what makes it interesting." And it's just too cute and too precious not to it's too sweet to ignore. So things like that, Justin, I always try to respond to because I really think that kids need to be brave and they need to ask questions like that. So I do get these very sweet requests all the time, and I never say no.
That being said, are there those situations where you meet up with a photographer, things click, you guys are close, they earn your respect, right? They've paid their dues.
I don't understand the scenario. You mean a
Yeah,
student
either a student or somebody you've met, and
or a
yes,
colleague?
are you afraid of sharing those circles that you are in?
Okay, so let me be very, very clear. In my world, we all know each other. In my world, I'm friends with photographers whose careers are further ahead than mine and less ahead than mine. And we all know each other and we all respect each other and none of us hide the ball. None of us hide the ball. And I don't get anything from hiding the ball. I don't believe in it. And if I can make an I do it all the time. I forward jobs to people who are in my world. And that's normal for
I
us.
love that.
Here's a grant app. My buddy and I have a friend, and we're constantly sharing our rejection letters with each other. We'll screen grab them and send them, and I'll be like, "Fine, another one." I actually won something yesterday. I'm not gonna talk about it, but guys, I got curated into a fairly big show, and I took a screen grab of it, and I sent it to him, and I said, "Finally, something I don't have to wipe my ass with." This is normal for us. 5 times a day, we'll get rejection letters because all of the grant they're all in the same cycle. So you get them all in the same day or week, and you just feel like a loser, and you just screen grab them and send them to people, and you're like, "Well, I didn't get this one either." We do that all the time. But if you're somebody I have never met, and you come up to me and you want my MailChimp list, what are you gonna do with it?
Right? You wouldn't even know what to do.
These are people who all came to me. I don't have anything to share simply because there is no one in my world who would even engage with you. Have to prove who you are by doing work. Be a machine, shoot, create, fail, go broke, repeat. If you're not if you're listen, if you're not doing that, and no shade to anybody who's sitting with me. No shade. I have friends who are well off. I love them. They don't struggle that way that I do, but they struggle in other ways. They've paid their dues. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're sitting on funds. It has to do with your philosophy and your work ethic, and you're doing it or you're not doing it. And again, I have friends who they come from fortunate circumstances, and there's no shade because they have time and time again shot, worked, failed, repeat. And that's the deal.
There's no shortcut, and that's what they're looking for.
There is no shortcut.
No, they want that's why they want those things from you. It's a shortcut they can do.
I've also gotten a lot of response from cold emails. I've sent cold messages and emails to curators and writers, and they've responded to me because my work will speak for itself.
Yes, if that work speaks for itself, you shouldn't need somebody else's mailing list. You just need to get your work in front of the right eyes, and that's all they would need.
I will occasionally ask someone, "You know so and so, would you mind just introducing us when I see you at Perry Photo?" And that the thing is, I bought a plane ticket that I couldn't afford. I paid for a hotel that I couldn't afford because I was exhibiting at Perry Photo. I was an exhibiting artist at Perry Photo. I don't get reimbursed for that.
Congratulations, by the way, that is awesome.
Thank you. My pass had my name on it, and in French it said artiste, artist. And I wore it, and my friend was with me, and I went to the door, the artist entrance of the Grand Palais, and the guard did this. He saw my thing, and it was a moment that I've never had before. I've never had it before, and it felt really good because I earned it.
You were being recognized.
And by a dude at the door, by a French guy. He couldn't have been lovelier. He said, "Entrez, madame," and I just said, "This is great." And my friend said, bless her, she just looked at me and said, "That was amazing." And she's this very sweet, quiet, she's autistic, so she's very, she's very insulated, and her way of expression is very peaceful. And she said, "That was amazing." It was wonderful that I was with someone and that I could share that with someone. That's what I mean. If I have a VIP pass to a show, I'll bring someone with me every single time because it's the night it's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to encourage and help each other. Look, I'm in a job that nobody should be caught dead doing. This is a serious form of mental illness. Nobody should do this. It's exhausting all the time. It's sexist, it's racist, it's every possible thing that's wrong with humanity. But it can do something really beautiful and really wonderful. And the people with whom I share a world, we are we are not competitive or jealous with each other.
I think that is a very important thing because then it keeps you as there's so many people who are the big fish in a small pond.
Oh yeah.
And they have that mentality of I'm not sharing the secrets. Like your secrets are a preset.
You don't win by hiding the ball.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'll teach somebody stuff.
You don't win for yourself. It turns you into that type of person that we're talking about. But at the same time, I I I am not going to I don't work for you. For you to ask me something so big and it's so entitled and it's just I interned for free with some of the greatest geniuses of our time. Again, I went broke, I went to work every day, I paid for my own lunch. When I was in Mary Ellen Mark's studio, I sat there, I listened to her all day, I kept my head down and I sucked it in. And then I worked in Arthur Elgort's darkroom. Again, I sat down. The first time we had lunch together in the studio, two of the studio managers were talking about sharing. They wanted to sell a photo that a makeup brand, a very big international makeup brand, had bought, and they wanted to buy it again. And the studio manager said, "Well, I was thinking of just charging them 90,000." You got to remember, this was in the early 2000s. That's a lot of money, but and I almost had a stroke. Again, I sat there, I was quiet, I listened, and when she said 90,000 for one photo, I almost had a stroke. And then I realized then what I did was I got home, I looked up what it was about. It's about worldwide licensing. It's about putting the picture in airports in Vienna, magazines in New York, a billboard in Amsterdam, a bus stop in Paris. That's
Like
what
global work.
global work, that's what they're paying for, that's what it costs. Now, nowadays, it would probably be around 200,000, maybe 3. But I heard it, I had the small stroke, and then I researched it. That's where there is a will, there is a way. I never, ever, ever expected anybody to hand me anything.
I think it's important to earn that place because otherwise you don't appreciate the struggle of what happened to get there. If somebody's well off, the camera's given to them. The lessons are paid for. Like if somebody pays for lessons, I don't have any gripe with that whatsoever because they're trying to improve. But if they're expecting to be like, I've had my camera a week, let's do this.
Well, I mean, you have to find your edge. You have to find your I teach a class called Finding Your Edge, and it's all about project development. And sometimes it's a workshop, and sometimes it's 6 weeks, and sometimes it's 2 weeks, and sometimes it's, a semester. And depending on the length of time that I have with my students, I'm able to help them develop a project along a certain timeline. And one time a guy, I gave him his project assignment, and he went out and shot something else, and I said, "This is garbage. You can keep doing this if you want, I don't care. Do the assignment, don't do the assignment, I don't care what you do, but this is garbage, and you're wasting everyone else's time because everyone else did the work. So we're gonna skip this right now."
With your are those projects short-term projects for that evaluate like from beginning to end evaluation?
But sometimes they're short-term projects. I do have one student who she was photographing, barbershops.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, it was wonderful, and again, she's pretty and adorable and beautiful, and, she would walk into these barbershops and nobody could possibly say no to her. And they just let her photograph whatever she wanted, and the pictures were gorgeous. And she is still shooting them. She's not a professional. She's not a professional, she works in the world that I'm in, and she works in a different, vertical, but she is extremely talented, and her work speaks for itself, and I have recommended that she apply for certain grants, that she submit to certain shows. I've sent this to her. When I see them come into my inbox, I'll send them to her because I know her work is a good fit for something.
I'm a bald man and I love barbershop.
Are you a bald man?
Oh, I'm bald as hell.
But you have to polish the dome and you have beard maintenance.
Older podcasts, like when I first started releasing them, my beard was longer.
You have to have beard maintenance. It's a lot of work. Beard oil, trimming, it's a lot of work. And you've got but the thing is, the barbershop is for everyone. My dad would get his hair cut in Tacoma, Washington, because that was where his barber was. We lived on the East Coast.
That was quite the haul for the barber.
He didn't care. Her name was what was her name? His barber's name was Tamara. He wouldn't shut up about her. "Oh, I need a haircut. I need a haircut," and we loved it when he would leave because he never left the house, but when he went to get his haircut, we were so happy because he'd come back really jolly with a fresh haircut.
He was looking good, feeling good.
So he would go check in on his uncle, who he was very close with, and then he would get his haircut. So, yeah, the barbershop culture and, I had no desire to shoot that. I thought it was ridiculous that my father had to go to the West Coast to get a haircut.
Really?
I thought it was ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous, but it's like a novel idea. That's something I could be like,
Ridiculous.
that's a unique idea.
I never had a desire to photograph it, not for a minute.
So, if when you're out shooting for yourself, are there fun situations that you know are going to be fun that you love to shoot, even if it's goofy?
Everywhere I
Yeah.
go is a fun situation.
You seem like the life of the party a bit.
Everywhere I go is a fun situation. I am, it's true.
So there are those shoots where sometimes I get put in a chair and I'm shooting something like a video because I do a lot of video work. And when I'm in a chair and it's just a single tripod shot, I'm like, my legs hurt so bad from yesterday. I'm so
It's a little
yeah.
monotonous. Listen, there's some things that are a little bit monotonous where I do a lot of portrait work for companies, and I'll set up a studio or I'll set one up there, and it's kind of like step and repeat, step and repeat. We have a groomer who makes everybody up just very lightly, just so everyone looks nice. And it's a little monotonous, but I'm in it. I'm interested in the people. I love meeting all these people who are coming in from all around the country for a conference, and they all need their picture taken for this website. So they hire me and they bring me in, and the pictures themselves do have a bit of monotony to them, but the process by which they're made is very exciting because I get to meet all of these really interesting people who have really interesting stories, and I'm only with them for 2 minutes. But it's it's a lot of fun, or I wouldn't bother doing it.
There's that photographer who did very famous like political portraits. Yusuf Karsh, is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also Platon.
I like that concept of sitting down with somebody for the whole day before you even shoot with them. And I kind of got to do that yesterday with that wedding shoot because I shot the wedding photos at the end.
They brought you in. I do them first because then everyone's fresh.
They were I was shocked at how fresh they were. I wanted to do it,
Wow.
but there was a scheduling issue and information got mixed up. So this was a very last minute thing. I picked up this shoot yesterday. I picked it up the day before and that was just there. And the moral of the story is that I sat down with these people. I was talking to people. The dad used to be a photographer, and it was so nice to get to know these people because I learned their personalities and what they were into. Yeah, so they were I know they were into Lord of the Rings. They were band nerds. They liked playing board games. Yeah, I loved it. And then I felt more comfortable. It was like doing a stand-up comedy routine when I was shooting the post portraits. Yeah, and it was just so much fun. I like when the shoots are fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. I was shooting a big group once, and the little girl toddled over to me. She wasn't in the picture. We had already photographed her, but she was fascinated. And I said to her, "Go ahead, push the button. Go ahead." I had it all set up. I had it all set up, and she pushed it. She was so proud of herself. She was maybe 4 years old, and she had her dress on, and she was just staring at my gear. I said, "Go ahead, push the button." It was precious, and then when they reviewed me, they even said how nice I was to the kids, but I mean, it's easy to be nice to lovely children. It's easy, she was precious, and I just said, "Push the button," and sh well, when she pushed the button, it made a lot of noise, like the flash, a really good flash goes, "Pow," and a really good shutter goes, "Ka-toom," and so it's very satisfying from an ASMR standpoint. It's very satisfying, and you could see her whole brain wake
Yeah, it
up.
was like the goosebumps feeling.
It was beautiful. Oh, it was beautiful, and when they reviewed me, they mentioned it, and it just really touched my heart that that meant something to them. There's this whole life that we have with our clients before the pictures are made and after they're delivered, and I think people who think that it's easy and people who wanna pay nothing, they they think that you just pull it out of your ass. But I think people who are smart and people who get it understand that it's a job and it's a lot of work. Yeah, I think people get that. Smart people get that. And courteous and gentle people get that.
For me, photography is like hearing a good song. When when I get a great photo, like the goosebumps feeling is it's the same as when I hear a certain song. It is.
Yeah. Isn't it beautiful? Or you see it, you go, "Did I do that?" It's really and then I just think to myself, "Well, I didn't really do it. Everything did it for me. All I did was click at the right time. I didn't really do anything."
Yeah, is that imposter syndrome, or is that your mantra? But like that moment was there, I just happened to be there for that moment.
Exactly. In the right hands in the right hands, any moment can be transcended in the right hands.
Any moment. It's just about the creativity to see it, spot it, and feel it.
And to be able to have the technical acumen to make it a picture.
To have that hand speed, eye speed, just everything is everything is against you.
And the math.
Yes, math. Oh, I am so bad at math. Man,
Yeah.
long exposures. Ugh.
But you get to your brain does it in one side of the brain, and then the other side of the brain eyes it up for you, and eventually your brain
Absorbs it through osmosis and practice.
what's the word? Neuroplasticity. That's why I do a lot of crossword puzzles.
You do crossword puzzles?
Well, because it's very good for your neuroplasticity.
I do a lot of like, I guess I kind of do like those anagram games. I will play those.
Oh, those are fabulous. That's a yeah, like Wordle. Yeah, those are great. They're very good for your brain. And I feel like when I'm sharp, when I do a lot of things like that, my picture making ability improves.
Yeah, as long as you're staying, you got to keep the neurons firing.
Exactly. Exactly.
What are your favorite kind of clients?
I mean, I love all my clients until they give me a reason not to. I've loved, I would say 99% of my clients. I'm friends with one of my closest client relationships is someone whose wedding I shot in 1997. No, 99. No, sorry, no, 2000, 2000. I shot their wedding in 2000. And on 9/11, on two thou their anniversary, they came to see if I was okay because I lived in Lower Manhattan. And this was a couple I just shot their wedding a year ago. And there was no phone and no internet and no water and no electricity, so they left me a note. I mean, I didn't get it so much.
That says a lot.
That says a lot. People who are interested in actual storytelling are deep, sensitive people, and they're capable of tremendous, tremendous love and consideration.
Oh yeah, not just clients, because there's plenty of people that start out as clients and move to friends for
Those
me,
are the people worth keeping
and I
around.
talk to every day, and it's just
I have clients who are some close, close friends. I have colleagues who have become very close friends. I mean, this is just the world we operate in. It's a very social the art world is a very social world. And, being a documentary style photographer means you're alone a lot. You spend a lot of time in isolation. Having these relationships is pivotal to me being able to function.
I struggle when I don't have that photo, even if it's a digital community for me,
Yeah,
because yeah, the digital community for me, especially on like Substack, I don't know what happened and why people liked the things I was doing so much, but
you're doing a great job, Justin.
thank you. But it's just so
Don't
crazy.
put yourself down. Be proud of your work. You're doing a wonderful thing.
I just want to, I'm trying to build a community where we can all be like, check our shit out.
There's a guy I really like. He's built a wonderful community. His name is Andy Adams.
Yeah, I know, Andy.
His feed is Flack Photo. He's a lovely guy, and he's built. I don't even think it's his full time job. I think he has another
I
job,
think so.
but he has built a really nice, lovely community of documentary style photography, and everybody loves him. And it's because he does it because he loves it. I don't think there's any way to monetize something that we do. I just don't know if it's possible. But I think he's just done a great job doing this thing that we're discussing.
I think he has done a great job. I've been waiting for Andy to come on. I should hit him up and ask if he wants to come on because we've been kind of back and forth a couple times.
He's very nice. He couldn't be a nicer guy. But there are these people who create these lovely little worlds within the world. And these are people whose work I admire and whose feeds I like.
Are there any photographers on Substack lately who you've seen their stuff and you're like, damn, like that you're very excited about?
Oh, every day I see something that surprises me. And I always, always leave a little comment. Always. If something really, I feel something for what they're doing, I always leave a little comment.
I saw your comment this morning. It popped up and I screenshot it and sent it to my fiance. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, stop it. No, but I mean, when I see something lovely, someone deserves to be told that they're doing a good job.
I agree. I try to leave, and it's not just Nice photo. I try to tell them what I like about the photo.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's more meaningful than be like nice.
Exactly. And I think the nice thing about Substack is it slows people down.
Yeah, it does.
Makes you more of a considered person. Although I did get my first troll.
Oh, really? What'd they say?
It was just some entitled guy who I put up a paywall in an article about something. And he actually had the nerve to write to me to say, well, it seems a little disingenuous that you would put up this thing and put up a paywall. And I said to him, I don't work for you. I don't owe you anything. I can do whatever I want and read it, don't read it, pay for it, don't pay for it. I don't care what you do.
It doesn't affect me either way. This is on you. These are your feelings. Deal with them.
Well, he was trolling and he was looking for, I don't know. It seems really, Angela, that seems really disingenuous. It was, you know what it was? It was an article about not working for free, about how to avoid getting sucked into something. And that guy actually had the nerve to imply that I owed him a free article. I mean, look, I put up a paywall as an experiment. I could do whatever I want, and
Yeah, it's your work. You can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want.
Wall Street Journal, paywall. Washington Post, paywall.
Paywall,
Yeah.
paywall, New York
Netflix,
Times, paywall,
paywall.
New Yorker, paywall.
Everything costs money.
Everything's got a paywall, and it's perfectly fine.
I don't have any issue doing it. I don't do it personally, but I don't have a problem with somebody who does do it.
First troll, this is my first Substack troll.
I had one.
I got thousands of trolls after my book came out, people who thought I was making a fortune off of the back of someone else, and I was like, "I don't think you really understand what this is. I don't get any money for this. The reason you do a book, it's a very expensive business card. It makes your stock go up,
It's a resume piece.
for sure." And I had a publisher. I have this a brilliant, brilliant publisher. I thank God every time I see them that they are around because this team at this publishing company believed in me. They filled me in. They pushed my book out in 6 months because they wanted it for Perry Photo, and they did it, and we did it together. They hired a designer, and we worked together, and they were amazing. L'Artiere, they're in Bologna, Italy, and, these guys were amazing.
I love when a team comes together like that. That cohesive team that just gels.
I had a deal before them that went sideways pretty quickly. It was a very big publishing house, and it just didn't go well. Didn't go well. Didn't go well. So, I got out, hired a lawyer, I got out, and then these guys, again, they came to me. They were wonderful, and they fit me in, and they were this is what I mean, is that when the work speaks for itself, it will find an audience and a home. But you have to work to push it out.
You can't just sit idly by and wait for it to just get out to the
There
eyes.
and there are things for free that anybody can submit to. For example, a slide, they call it a slide library. A lot of nonprofit image places will have slide libraries you can apply. What's it called? Artist registries. There are grants you can apply for free. There are things you can submit. You could do cold emails. You could do drop offs. There's no limit to doing it. It's just where there's a will, there is a way.
It's that hunger. How hungry are you to go out and grab that or seize it and try to make it your own?
But the work has to come first.
Yes, the work first.
And the photographer's job is to make the work. It isn't meant to sit in a box. But then once it's in the box has to go to somebody else who knows how to pull it into the right next phase of its being. But you have to find people.
That's the part I'm struggling with. It's because
Everybody does, even me.
yeah, I can't. Where I'm at is very rural, and if I wanted to reach out to a bigger audience, I'd have to be like Detroit or Flint. Or
That's not true. You're telling yourself that it's bullshit. You can reach out to anybody. You can reach out to anybody. Guggenheim grants go to people I've never heard of in places I didn't know existed.
maybe I just haven't looked into it.
Saying is a lie. It is a lie to hold yourself to feel safe. It is not true. You can submit your work to anybody at any time.
I do have a project now. I found it finally, and it's this chestnut farm in my area, and I'm doing the. Yeah, it's awesome. It's phenomenal, and it's family owned. I am related to these people, so I have inside track, baby.
I can't wait to see what you.
I'm very excited about what's coming.
I can't wait to see what
Yeah,
you do.
thank you. See, this is why I like this podcast. People say nice things to me, I say nice things to people, and we have awesome conversations.
That's what I mean. It's all part of what we're supposed to be doing for each other.
Yeah, and I feel like things are coming together for a lot of people I'm talking to lately, and it's awesome. I like seeing when somebody posts something and they it's something we talked about on the podcast, and then I see it out in the wild, and I'm like, oh, they did it! Yeah, it's so awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing anything that we talk about here when it comes out. I'm looking forward to it. It's so awesome.
And I love reading about projects that people are working on and then seeing them roll out and saying, "I love that. I remember when they were working on it."
Yeah, because there's so much creativity that people are doing things I would never even imagine to do.
I had people in my life I lost touch with for whatever reason who were in my life when I began the project that is in my book, Glendalis, and I would send them, "Just remember when I was working on this?" And they always, well, almost always, some people, whatever, they threw me shade. Almost always people would say, "That's Angela, that's great. I remember when you were doing this, and I'm really proud of you." It's really all that's all that matters. That's all that matters. "Remember when I was doing this?" And they're like, "Yep, and it good for you. Good for you."
Those are the people that matter. I like when you get that, it's like a justification. Not that you needed that justification and validation, but when it does hit,
External validation is a problem, seeking external validation, but you're still allowed to feel good. If something nice happens that you earned, it's totally fine. You can fill your well that way.
sometimes that high five feels real good.
Oh, dude,
Like when something cool happens, it's like when if you're at a baseball game or something, and somebody hits a home run, it's just like, ah!
you catch the game ball too,
Yeah, it's all catching the game ball, big deal.
and then someone signs it. That's something that where there's a harmonic convergence.
And I think a lot of people struggle with letting themselves feel good because they're so used to bad things happening that they,
Well, yeah, I mean, I have my friend with whom we share rejection letters every day.
yes,
It's
it's
hilarious
hilarious when something goes wrong sometimes. When something goes wrong, sometimes you're like, fuck.
and so inappropriate. Yeah, like, "Oh, I'm a total like, look at this, I'm a total loser. I'm a total loser." Yeah, every single time, but it's also just really funny. Like, well, this is yeah, if I die, no one's gonna miss me.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
It's like that type of thing.
They're gonna find my skeleton in this basement.
It's a constant struggle, one for one, to keep oneself, emotionally fulfilled.
Humans are so complex, and we're basically just apes that are still drawing hieroglyphics.
Oh, we're just apes, that's it. We're one of the 5 great apes. There are 5 great apes, and we're one of them, and I think anything that gives you joy, you should like, look, it's anything that you enjoy is worth doing.
Anything that is deeply fulfilling. I very much enjoy that, but I also enjoy the stupid little things like watching Futurama or The
Of course.
Simpsons.
Absolutely. Have you seen, uh, Arcane League of Legends? I think it's on Netflix.
My son was watching it. I think I tuned in and out.
It's a little advanced for a child. No, it's a little blue for a child. I don't think he was watching it.
Hey, I think he was definitely watching it.
Arcane League of Legends, I was obsessed with it. It's one of the most beautiful cartoons I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, all I do are watch cartoons. It's all my brain because I wasn't allowed anywhere near a TV as a kid. We didn't have a TV so I guess now what I'm doing is I'm giving myself the cartoons I never experienced as a little kid,
I think that's fair. I think those little pleasures are, yeah. No,
right?
I wouldn't.
You don't have to be Sigmund Freud to know what's under the hood with some things.
Yes, indeed.
So I do this thing where I just put my gear on and I walk to a neighborhood. I don't use a bag, and I just wanna feel, like, loose and free, and I it was really, really hot the other day, and I wanted to fall over and die, but I still photographed for 3 hours because the adrenaline and the dopamine kicks in, and then at the end, I'll walk home, but I'll be like, "It's only 20 blocks, but I've gotta take the bus because I can't move." I'm just exhausted. Yeah, it's super rough. It's super rough, and we just have to accept it as an inevitability of what we're doing.
Just doing things like that, putting yourself in situations where you never know who you're going to bump into on the street, who you're going to talk to at an event, who's in the elevator with you, no idea. And everything is an opportunity. Yeah, everything's an opportunity, but you just have to be willing to reach out to get those opportunities and be prepared for them. You have to be prepared for the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. You just gotta and be afraid you can't be afraid to be, for someone to say no. I asked someone on the street the other day if I could take their picture, and they just said no. I said, "I get it. It's no problem. That's why I asked." They were also really weird, but it's fine. It's fine. But there are things that, if you're not in the listen, we're all being photographed all the time. We're all being filmed all the time. But when it's intimate, the rules change.
Constant surveillance, completely fine. One photo on the street, not great.
Well, when people ask me when
Yeah.
I go to the dog park and people ask me why I'm doing it, I just say, "Well, it's a mental health day." And they all understand. They all understand. Everybody just says, "Oh, that's amazing." And nobody really cares. They're just because it's their dog and it's sweet and it's innocent and I'm there just to can I pet the dog? And it's just really it's a little bit of therapy. It's very therapeutic just to be around all those jolly dogs.
I love my dog. After every podcast, I go upstairs to hang out with my dogs, and I can't pick my dog up anymore though. It makes me very sad.
I actually have a body of work that I'm thinking could be my third book, and it's dogs I've photographed with the panorama all over the world. Dogs usually with people. The Mexico dogs are really great, and then the dogs in France are great. I have great dogs, and I love dogs, and I've always photographed them while I was shooting other things. But again, it's how you edit. It's how you do the vertical. Are you editing the people? Are you editing the vacation looking stuff? Are you editing the dogs? So the dogs were the theme throughout the whole edit. And I had a studio visit recently with a curator, and I put it up as what I referred to as a palette cleanser. So I had the current body of work, the book work, and then the palette cleanser of the dogs. And then I had another body of work which was harder, and then a palette cleanser which was ballet pictures. Then I had another body of work which is harder, and then a palette cleanser of something. So I look they're absolutely real attempts to make pictures, but they're because of the subject matter, I kind of feel like it's a break, a mental break. After looking at something that's a bit challenging, one wants to look at a dog. At least I want to look at a dog.
It's like needing a break at an event. You know, it's go out, like some people go outside, smoke a cigarette.
Or you just take your dinner break at a table. You sit and you eat. People ask me to shoot things while I'm sitting and eating, and I say, "Well, I'm eating right
Yeah,
now."
no, not happening. Sorry.
So when I'm done, when my break is over, I'll shoot whatever you want. Don't get in the way. There are 3 things you don't get in the way of: dinner, bedtime, and my credit rating. If you get in the way of one of those 3 things, I will end you.
I think that is great advice to live by. So I have one more question for you.
What would you like to know?
What do you want people to take away from your work?
I want them to have their own experience.
Yes, that's the right answer. See, there was a right and wrong there. I didn't tell you, but that's the right one.
It's the really I mean, yeah, it's the only way to go. I want people to take away their own personal experience of my work, whatever it is. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be positive, it could be anything. That's what I want. I want them to feel whatever they feel when they see the work because the work is a new fact. It's not what happened.
Angela, thank you so much for coming on this.
Justin, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I had a blast. This was so much fun. I was so nervous. I don't even know why I was nervous now, but because it feels like, yeah, it feels like I've known you.
Monday morning performance anxiety.
I shook it off. I got it together. Thank you so much for coming on. I've had a blast.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I'll
Yep,
talk to
thank
you
you so
soon.
much.
Thanks a
Yep.
million.